Adobe Flash shut down in December 2020, which is a real shame because Flash was very important in producing a lot of online content between the late 90s and the early 2010s. Flash could do it all: animation, games, interactive site design.
Buttons, they could do buttons.
For a while, Adobe was on top of the world, but then the Apple Nation attacked. Steven Jobs didn't want Flash on any Apple devices because he thought Flash was, and I quote, dumb. After Jobs decimated Flash, it became increasingly obsolete over time, with newer, more efficient software coming in to replace it. But Flash, and more importantly, Flash games, hold a very special place in the chest cavity where my heart should be. And it's terrible to think of the amount of Flash media that's now gone forever. So I guess it's up to me and me alone to dig up the ancient Flash game relics of the past and discuss their important legacy, because nobody else has ever done either of those things. But we're only going to discuss the ones that I care about, because most Flash games were worthless garbage made in 5 minutes by a 12-year-old. Now, the very essence of a browser game comes from not wanting to do something else. Our human ability to endlessly procrastinate. The best way to explain this is just coolmathgames.com. Oh, wait, something doesn't look right. Yeah, that's better. It looks much worse. This is a website where the title is a complete lie. First of all, math isn't cool, this is a fact. Second of all, the only reason this site even had math in the title was if you were supposed to be doing math homework in school and your teacher happened to look at your browser. She wouldn't question that. She thinks you're playing like numbers game and you're actually instead playing Papa's Pizzeria, bitch. They'll claim to this day that Cool Math still has learning games, but I've never seen a game on here that actually teaches you anything other than how to make a pizza or how to shoot a gun, like in Johnny Upgrade, which has got to be my favorite out of all the Cool Math games. .com. It's a pretty quick game, but it's all supported by this one very interesting mechanic, in that you play a man so weak that when you first start up the game, he doesn't even know how to walk. To progress through this game, you have to upgrade Mr. Upgrade himself. Not a particularly unique concept, but one that gets expanded on the more you play the game. You gotta platform your way around, collecting coins so you can go into the menu and upgrade certain abilities. There's your normal weapon upgrades, speed boost, higher jumping. Even the in-game timer has to be upgraded so that you can actually do anything. Such a great way of turning leveling up into a decision of priority, forcing you to think which upgrade will help you progress quicker and unlocking even more upgrades. On the other hand, I've never been able to beat the final boss, so I fucking hate this game. Everybody loved Papa's Pizzeria. This was the king of the Cool Math games, where you worked as a minimum wage employee for a pizzeria. Then you got Run, where you run Fireboy and Water Go, Duck Life, Pop Tropica, World's Hardest Game, 2048, Papa's Freezeria, Papa's Burgeria, Papa's Taqueria, Papa's Bakeria, Papa's Tax Evasioneria, Papa's Extortioneria, Bloxors.
I'm god at Bloxors. I'm just good at geometry.
As am I, Moses. Watch me. I'm just gonna beat this whole game in like 10 moves.
Moves.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
All of these games and more you could find on Cool Math, and you would get addicted to them and play them for hours and hours at a time. World's hardest game? Pfft, I can beat this game. I can't beat this game. And that's how they suck up your time. The majority of Flash games were easy to jump in and easy to access. You'll get drawn into one game, then when that one's lost its charm, hop on to another one because there's just so many more on the side right here. And like my taxes can wait, I'll just play games instead. None of this was me dissing Cool Math or any other Flash game sites. It's just what they are. But Flash games could be more than just time wasters. In fact, many were seriously impressive pieces of storytelling and game design which utilize the Flash medium's full potential for creativity. Take, for example, Extreme Parking Mania. Or not. Parking Mania? Huh. How about Regular Parking?
Yeah, no, I'm already the worst at that.
Yeah, unfortunately, a number of Flash games could be lost forever. Sites like Cool Math, Newgrounds, Addicting Games, they take the time to upgrade Flash games to run on newer software, but not every game is going to get this treatment. Many are left to the wayside, collecting dust on a website where you can't even play the game, but it still shows up. Because Flash was shut down, so much internet content will just fade away out of existence. A massive number of Flash games were done by small teams comprised of a few people, sometimes even just one person working on a whole game. These people can't afford to spend time upgrading their old projects that not a lot of people care about anymore.
And host sites can just delete Flash games randomly.
But are we really losing a whole lot by losing Flash games? Yes, we are. It may not seem like it, but there's a myriad of genuinely phenomenal Flash games out there. Flash was a legitimate medium that when utilized properly by the right people could create some of the most incredible gaming experiences you've ever had. Now, do you know what I mean when I say that? Clearly you don't. I mean things like Craig Alexander Goes to Singapore.
Oh my god, the graphics!
Look at these graphics. Look at them. Look at this man.
Nintendo could never!
This gotta be one of the best Flash games ever, and it's not even a Flash game. It was just made with Flash, which is very different from being a Flash game, alright? It's not confusing at all. Truly an ambitious title. It's a real good game, There's a lot of real good Flash games. Games like One Chance, the Rapper. This game was the direct inspiration for the classic title COVID-19 pandemic. The title of the game perfectly illustrates the main idea. You have one chance to save the world from a virus bound on wiping out humanity, and if you don't get the ending you want, well, uh-oh, you messed up. Goodbye. A cookie blocks you from trying to replay, so every decision you make in the short amount of time you have matters. Much like No One Has to Die. Another Flash game, but one that's text-based, and is another game that can be completely understood just by reading the title alone. Fancy Pants Adventure isn't one I've played, but I've heard it's hella fun, and is definitely visually impressive for a game that was made in Flash. Happy Wheels was indeed a game where you could kill people in wheelchairs. Line Rider is the best rhythm game that was never supposed to even be one.
N is a hard game.
Remember, don't touch the bomb.
I'm good. I messed up.
Oh!
Ooh.
He glided. Don't touch the bomb. Don't touch the bomb.
I won't touch the bomb.
Bomb.
What?
The bomb. There's like 3 bombs.
I know what you're thinking. Well, if Flash games were so good, why didn't they make a Flash games too? Well, they did, kinda. Some Flash games were so good that they got complete recreations with a higher budget and a more advanced engine, lots even getting console ports. Oh, and let's say you don't have a console, or more likely, your mom took away your console because you failed all your classes because you were too busy on coolmathgames.com. So what do you do now to get your console games? Well, you go to Flash and Games, yes. A pretty high quantity of Flash games that you could find happened to be demakes of big games at the time. Were most of them anything at all like what they were being based on? Hell no. But were they fun? Hell yes. The Portal Flash game is a fan-made demake of Portal, if you couldn't tell, that was so good, Valve actually took levels from the Portal Flash game and put it in the Xbox 360 version of Portal as bonus content. So it is both a fan recreation of another game, and also a Flash game that was so good it got ported to console. This is blowing my mind. Speaking of Valve, Codename Gordon is an officially licensed by Valve Half-Life Flash game that you can get for free by typing in a secret Steam link. It's basically Half-Life 2 as a side-scroller with an altered story, and for some reason it released before Half-Life 2 did. I have no idea why, but technically that makes this the chronological next step in Gordon Freeman's journey. Oh, and how could I forget my favorite Flash demake, Call of Duty 2. This game isn't available anymore, and the only worthwhile footage I could find was this. The game sucks, but this footage has got unregistered Hypercam 2 in the top corner, Blink 182 blaring in the background, and there's only one comment on the video. It says, "Game's really gay." This is the most 2008 video ever created.
There's so many amazing games you can just play right from a browser.
Which begs the question, how are we going to keep playing these games in the future? Flash is already discontinued and most of these games are left completely unplayable. How are we going to archive all these games like Bloons, the original Bloons Tower Defense? It looked like this. I'm not joking. It had a JPEG of a monkey and it had Comic Sans.
My god, this game is fucking difficult.
This is what started a whole gaming franchise called Bloons TD. How are we going to preserve these games so that future generations can enjoy them as well? The answer's pretty simple, but I have to come clean and apologize.
I've made a severe...
Earlier, I lied. So I guess it's up to me and my supreme unmatched intellect alone to dig up the ancient Flash game relics of the past and discuss their important legacy. The part about how I would be alone is completely untrue, because there's a ton of great people out there trying their hardest to preserve every Flash game they possibly can before they all disappear. Blue Maxima's Flashpoint and the Flash Games Archive come to mind first. Just a simple click and you can download pretty much any Flash game ever made with either. Nah, sorry. I lied again. I have to apologize once more because
They actually don't have all Flash games. I mean, Flashpoint only has
70,000 of them, which is like almost nothing. Well, it's basically nothing when you compare it to the likely millions of games that were created during Flash's almost 25-year run, which is even more of nothing when you compare it to the grand scheme of things where we all live in a world in a practically infinite universe and cosmically nothing we do matters. Start your day off right with a complimentary existential crisis. And while downloading 70,000 games to your hard drive might seem a little bit excessive to some people who just want to play unfair Mario, fuck you. Don't worry, Flash games are not usually that complex, so they shouldn't take up a lot of space on your computer. Flashpoint's file size is only 874 gigabytes. But they have a 3 gigabyte version and you can just download games whenever you want and it doesn't take up 870 gigabytes on your computer. Alternatively, I would recommend the Flash Games Archive, which is not by the same people, but it also has a lot of games and is a much smaller file size. Thanks to the creators of these collections, we can now play Flash games that would be completely lost to time otherwise. Finally, now I can park Mania in a very extreme way. Both of these programs have been a really big help in making this video. Pretty much every game that I've showcased, I've played thanks to one or the other. It's a really big testament to how overfilled these programs are with this classic after classic. Who could forget some of these games? I mean, we got Douche Life Simulator. Yeah, Megan the Fox. And this is a game where you're a furry and you shoot things and, you're Megan. I'm gonna play Slenderman, Mystery Forest. Yeah, already crashed. Here's Give Up.
Give Up, I love Give Up. Give Up is my favorite game. It's just like N but harder.
Nope, not doing that. Hey, and they got the classic Snail Bob Saga. There's this really addicting game you can play called, what's it called? I can remember this. There's a monkey. You gotta make him be happy. Monkey go happy. That's what it's called. I'm so glad I remembered that because I don't know what I would have done with myself if I couldn't. Mario Kart. This is another one of those D-make games, except this time it's Mario Kart, but the title is Mario Kart with a C. It just makes me think of the shopping cart theory, if I gotta be honest. Final Fantasy Sonic X 1 through 5. Here's the second game. Damn, I really need a better preloader. Lol, anyone who wants to help me, let me know. Thanks for telling me in Comic Sans, dude. Zelda is Link. Mega Man? I like the diverse art styles between characters. Enough running away, start talking, who are you? Don't care. But to get that, we must go to... Yeah, there are a lot of Flash games on here, and with this large quantity of games, you're gonna find a bunch of garbage or mediocrity. But why is it important that we keep preserving even the really bad ones? It's because they're a part of history. Browser games continue to live on through newer programs and also mobile ports, but Flash on its own is dying out. Many seemingly insignificant Flash games led on to inspired game developers creating their own genuinely amazing experiences. Media preservation is really important, but honestly, most AAA games, and just most games in general, suck, which I mentioned to establish that every single game that you can possibly think of is really on the same level of needing to be preserved for the future. I mean, why should a random Ubisoft game called Tom Clancy's Hawks 2 be more readily accessible than most Flash games? It shouldn't, because what the fuck is that? And because they should both be readily accessible to everyone. It's still genuinely hard to comprehend, though, how many Flash games were made and just how many can be found on the Archive. Come on, Nightmare No More! Is Pizza Apocalypse? Yes. Oh, this right here was like one of the best games I ever played as a child. I don't know if it still holds up today, so I'm just gonna ask my buddy old pal friend named Chupo. Hey Chupo, do you know if Pizza Apocalypse still holds up?
In my opinion, I think out of all tape flavors, the red ones are the best. I know what you think that I'm like confusing fruit roll-ups for tape, but no, I'm serious. I have like electrical tape right next to my desk, and I think from best to worst, it goes red, yellow, blue, green, black. Black tastes like black licorice, which is self-explanatory.
I think that's a yes. There's a lot of random junk I want to cover, but I don't know how to structure it, so Cartoon Network games. Games meant to tie in or promote Cartoon Network's cartoons or their weird live-action shows that existed for some reason.
Hi, I'm Andrew WK, and this is Build Destroy!
See the premiere of Destroy, Build, Destroy, Saturday, June 20th at 8:30 on Cartoon Network.
Wasting time on these was my forte as a child, especially the Gumball games. Gumball was one of my favorite shows as a kid, and it still is. There were other TV channels that did this, such as Disney, Nickelodeon. I'm sure there was an incredible NBC News Flash game, but I'm really only familiar with Cartoon Network games. I don't really have a lot of experience playing other games, nor do I really care enough to actually go out and play them. I do know some Disney games, like for example Elsa Foot Doctor. Really good game. Of course, the Cartoon Network site had a ton of games for all their other cartoons. Regular Show, Adventure Time, Ben 10. Some of these games were pretty good. Beast Boy vs. Mad Mod. Britain. Oh, let me out of here. Oh shit, there's a thing. Oh shit, there's a thing. Oh. Some of these games were pretty good. I think it's important to discuss these games too. Some of these perfectly replicate the art style of the cartoon they're based on. And because the CN Games website served as a great place for dumb kids like me who always procrastinated in math class. At least it was until the teachers caught on. They started blocking all the Flash game sites. Cool Math? Newgrounds? Addicting Games? Top 20 most violent movie deaths? So this is allowed, but I can't play Bloxors. Kids were subjected to some of the most horrific things ever known to man. The educational Flash games. I specifically remember this garbage one called Lawcraft. It aimed to teach young minds about economics, but it does such a horrible job. It really does a good job, though, of boring people to literal death. This is not at all what American government is like. We have the Flash game George Bush Shootout for a more accurate picture of American politics. Remember when I said certain Flash games were remade into console versions? Well, sometimes the Flash game served as a prototype to a much grander scale game. Hollow Knight, one of the most, just one of those games you won't forget playing anytime soon. It started out as Hungry Knight. The knight is hungry. He has to eat the food or he will die. And we've reached the peak of Flash games. I can see why they shut it down. There's no going up from here. Unfortunately, the era of Flash is over now. Luckily, there is still ways to play Flash games through archives and newer updated versions on different platforms. It is a bit sad though that even though many Flash games have been saved, some are lost forever. And with that, I don't think anybody who hasn't already experienced Flash games is gonna go out searching for them. I don't see any kid in the future going, oh, I want to download this archive of Flash games I've never played. It's almost a terabyte and also has no games I've ever heard of in my entire life. That's not me being like, oh, Flash games are better than modern games, or anything like that, not at all. Think of the amount of energy and effort and passion was put into some of these Flash game projects, and in the future, very few might even remember that they exist. Flash continues to live on through other browser game software, homages, and of course, mobile games. Mobile games really have come and replaced the whole popularity of browser games. I mean, browser games can still be found, but they're basically the same thing at this point. Only difference is more microtransactions and more abrasive and egregious ads. At its peak, Flash brought significant change to the developing internet, and the animation, games, and weird scam sites it brought is well appreciated. Flash games will remain in the memories of those who play them and those who continue to share ways to keep playing. Unless you live in China where Adobe Flash is still operable for some reason. Hold up. Unfortunately, I have to say for the final time, I am sorry for how stupid some of you are. I know there's a bunch of people here who already made comments 6 minutes ago getting mad that I didn't talk about fucking Bill Cosby Simulator or whatever. Listen, I wanted to talk about every Flash game ever made, but I couldn't because I don't have infinite time. I can only talk about the ones that I wanted to talk about. This was just my personal experiences with Flash and some things I thought were interesting. Sorry fans of Dora Mermaid Game, sorry Weapon fans, sorry Cookie Mama Mama Kills Animals fans. I can't talk about all that. And sorry to Flashbang fans, because when I'm looking for Flash games, I keep finding whatever this is. What is a Flashbang? What the fuck even is that?
the endless handbag known as your imaginary